Hello everyone, I am Tejaswini Pawar from MVP's KBT COE Nasik. I welcome you all in this video. Today we are going to learn about security basic in computer security. Very first, what is information? Information can be anything like your details on employee database or profile on social media, your credit card details, data on your mobile phone and so on. Until few decades ago, the information collected by an organization was stored in a physical files and only few authorized persons allowed to access and change the content of file. With the advent of computer, the information storage became electronic and it was stored in a computer. Most initial computer application had no security or at the best very little security. This is continued until the computer data was considered to be useful but not something to be protected. When computer applications were developed to handle the financial and personal data, the real need of security was felt like never before. People realizes that data on a computer was extremely important aspect of a modern life. During last few decades, computer network created revolution in the use of information. Information is now distributed manner. Authorized people can send and retrieve the information from the distance using computer network. Not only information to be confidential when it is stored in a computer, but there should also be a way to maintain its confidentiality when it is transmitted from one computer to another computer. Hence, the information security comes into the picture. Information security is abbreviated as a InfoSec. It is constantly growing and evolving field with many areas of specialization ranging from network and infrastructure security to the testing and auditing. Information security is not only securing information from unauthorized access but also preventing disclosure, disruption or modification of data. It includes setting the policies to ensure an unauthorized person cannot access business or personal information. A good security policy generally takes care of four key aspects that are as follows. The first aspect is affordability. It tells that the cost and effort in the security information. The second aspect is the functionality. It is nothing but the mechanism for providing the security. The third aspect is a cultural issue, that whether the policy will get well with the people's expectation, working style and beliefs. And the last one is legality, that is whether the policy meets legal requirements or not. Now we will move forward to the security goals. It is also called as a security principle. There are three major security goals. First one is the confidentiality, second one is availability and third one is a integrity. This triangle is also called as a Chi triangle. C stands for confidentiality, A stands for availability and I stands for the integrity. Now we will see one by one in detail. The first goal is the confidentiality. The principle of confidentiality specifies that only the sender and intended recipients should be able to get the access of content of the message. Confidentiality gets compromised if an unauthorized person is able to access the message. So, the confidentiality means preventing the disclosure of information to the unauthorized users. Example of compromising the confidentiality of a message is shown in the figure. Okay, here the user A send a message to the user B. Okay, in the figure you can see that another user C get the access of this message which is not desired and therefore defeat the purpose of confidentiality. Okay, example of this could be confidential email message sent by A to B which is accessed by C without the permission or a knowledge of A and B. So this type of attack is called as a interception. Interception causes loss of the message confidentiality. Now the second goal is the data integrity. When data integrity is ensuring the accuracy and authenticity of the data. When the content of message are changed after sender send it but before it reaches to the recipient, we say that the integrity of message is lost. For example, suppose you write a check for $100 to pay a goods bought from the US. However, when you see your next account statement, you are startled to see that the check resulted in a payment of rupees 1000. This is the case for loss of message integrity. Conceptually, this is shown in the figure. Here, C tamper with the message originally sent by the user A, which is actually destined for the user B. User C somehow manages to access it and change its content and sends change message to the user B. User B has no way to knowing that the content of message were changed after user A had sent it. User A also does not know about this change. So this type of attack is called as modification. Modification causes the loss of message integrity. The third security goal is availability. The principle of availability states that the resources, that is nothing but the information, should be available to authorized parties at all the times when they are required. For example, due to the intentional action of an unauthorized user C, an authorized user A may not be able to contact a server computer B. This is shown in the figure. So this would defeat the principle of availability. Such an attack is called as a interruption. Interruption puts the availability of resources in the danger. There are two more goals of the security. From that, the next goal is the authentication. Authentication mechanism helps to establish the proof of identity. The authentication process ensures that the origin of an electronic message or a document is correctly identified. For instance, suppose the user C sends an electronic document over the internet to the user B. However, the trouble is that user C had posed as a user A when she sent this document to the user B. How would user B know that the message has come from user C, who is posing as the user A? A real life example of this could be the case of user C posing as a user A, that is sending a fund transfer request to the bank. Okay, the bank might happily transfer the fund from A's account to the C's account. After all, it would think that the user A has requested for the fund transfer. Okay, so this is shown in the figure, and this type of attack is called as a fabrication. So fabrication is possible in the absence of proper authentication. The next goal is the non-repudiation. There are a situation where a user sends a message and later on refuses that he had sent that message. For instance, user A could send a fund transfer request to the bank B over the internet. After the bank performed the fund transfer as per A's instruction, A could claim that he never sent a fund transfer instruction to the bank. Thus, A repudiates or denies her fund transfer instruction. So, the principle of non-repudiation defeats such possibility of denying something. So, non-repudiation does not allow the sender of message to refute the claim of not sending the messages. So, this is all about the security goals. I hope all of you understood all the security goals. These are the references I had used for preparing the video. Thank you.